With this one, we need to factor it. And it's a little bit confusing because I've got an x and a y here, and they're both squared. So what I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to show you one that you're already familiar with. You should be familiar with this one at this point. So this is just an x squared minus 25. If we use our normal formula, that's two numbers that multiply together to give me c, but add together to give me b, and a times c, well, a is just 1. So two numbers multiplied together to give me c, but add together to give me b are negative 5 and positive 5. Okay, because b, it doesn't exist. Well, it exists, it's 0. There's no b listed here because it's a 0 value. Okay, so that means my answer to this one is x plus 5 and x minus 5. Okay, I just took this, I went at minus 5 here, and then a plus 5 here. Great. Well, let me show you how that correlates to this one. If we look at our first term here, and this one, what we noticed here is a perfect square. Okay, it's x times x. X times x gives me this perfect square. Well, the second portion here is also a perfect square. 25. Now, I'm not going to worry about the subtraction sign, just 25. And that's simply 5 times 5. Well, look at this. X, 5. And I've got a plus and a minus sign here. Now, let's see how that applies to this one here. With this particular one, the first part is a perfect square. That's x times x, just like this one. Okay. The second portion is also a perfect square. It's kind of weird. This one is, let's see, the perfect square on this one is 4y squared. So what times what gives me 4y squared? Again, I'm not worried about the negative. 4y squared would just be 2y times 2y. So just like I did up here, this one had an x to begin with. I put my x in first because that's my first one. The second one, let's see, I had a 5 times 5. I just write that 5 here. This one is going to be a 2y here and a 2y here. Now notice here I had a positive and a negative. So that's what I'm going to do here. I put a positive in one and a negative in the other. This is like the shortcut. The rule for this one basically is if you have, when the first term and the last term are perfect squares, and there's nothing in between, there's no b value here, there's a subtraction sign between them, you would write the square root of the first term. What times what gives me this? So this is just x, okay? Square root of the first term. Square root of the last term, and this is 4y squared, that's just going to be a 2y into both, okay? Then place an addition sign between one of them, and it doesn't really matter which one, the order doesn't matter, and a subtraction sign between the other one, okay? So this is it. You look at your square root of this one, which is just x, write that down. Square root of the second one here, which is 2y, place an addition sign between one and a subtraction sign between the other, and you're done.